What you don't want to do is you don't want to say, well, why would we fight Boots? He doesn't draw much, which is all bullshit. Like, the reality is, if you really want the fight, you start talking it up. Okay, well, if you ask them, did you sit in an office and talk through the terms of the fight and agree these would be the correct terms for the fight? I mean, DAZN were there as well, not making it up and not making an imaginary meeting.
Oscar de la Hoya was called a drag on Jaron "Boots" Ennis by Eddie Hearn in public as the fight between Vergil Ortiz Jr. and "Boots" Ennis grew closer. It was one of the most awaited fights in boxing history.
And we went away, and when we signed our extension with Boots, we also signed for him to fight Vergil Ortiz on the terms that we discussed. Again, I get that it's like, well, why do we need Boots? It's like, well, come on, guys, let's not start all that. Like, why do we need Vergil Ortiz? He doesn't have a belt. We just think he's the best 154-pounder in the world. We want to prove we're the best 154-pounder in the world, which we believe we are. Let's do it.
Finally, the long-awaited fight between Vergil Ortiz Jr. and Jaron Ennis is coming together, and it's shaking the boxing world. Oscar de la Hoya made it clear that he never had any doubts about the welterweight champion person who was the center of attention. Because de la Hoya was sure of Vergil Ortiz Jr., he responded to Eddie Hearn's claims that he has the right man in Jaron "Boots" Ennis.
He better not. I mean, there's no question that I have the man. There's no question that Vergil Ortiz is the man. So I feel that these negotiations will be negotiations, just like any other fight, and it'll go back and forth. But at the end of the day, Vergil Ortiz is the man.
Over the years, fans and experts have had different ideas about who the real welterweight division's future star is. Is it Ortiz, the Texas heavyweight champion, or is it Ennis, the smooth New York City bomb expert and fighter? They are going to settle their score in the ring soon. Oscar de la Hoya went on to say that Vergil Ortiz Jr. was now mentally and physically at the top of his game. He was sure that Ortiz would do well in the sport, and it was clear that his fighter still had a few big chances, even if the talks with the Boots and his match didn't go smoothly.
Vergil is in such a good place right now. If we don't get favorable negotiations, then we can always go to Errol Spence, or we can go to Fundura. So there's a lot of options for Vergil. I know the world wants to watch Boots Ennis versus Vergil, but let's get one thing straight here. Vergil is the man.
Oscar de la Hoya then said that Ortiz's record, performances, and fast rise to fame showed that his fighter had earned the right to be viewed as an Asai. De la Hoya talked about how big an Ortiz versus Boots Ennis fight could be in Las Vegas. He said it would be a huge event that the whole boxing world would want to see.
I mean, look at what he did. Look at who he is. Vergil Ortiz is the man. Having this fight in Las Vegas can be huge, but Vergil Ortiz has to be the favorite here when it comes to negotiations. And, as long as they're favorable, we'll make the fight happen. There's no problem.
Oscar,
I think everybody wants to see the fight. So the money's not going to be an issue because there will be enough money in the pot.
On the one hand, talks have been going on for a few months now. The fight is now more likely to happen than ever before, though, since both champions have confirmed it.
It's that time. Huh? It's that time. It is. It's that time. Yeah, it's the perfect time, too.
When asked about his upcoming fight with Vergil Ortiz Jr., Jaron "Boots" Ennis gave an unwavering but fatally sure answer during the post-fight press conference for Ortiz versus Lubin. He was aware of Ortiz's recent good performances and respects his opponent's skill, but he quickly changed the topic to show that he is much better. He said it was the best fighting match ever. He did a great job, in my opinion. He looked good, but I'm going to prove that I'm the best and show his team how crazy they are. It's true what they say, and I'll back it up. After hearing what Jaron "Boots" Ennis said, Vergil Ortiz Jr. quickly shot down the idea that someone in his camp was crazy. Ortiz was calm and sure of himself, and he pointed out that Ennis was the one who was causing the stress. Boots had told everyone that it was his father and trainer, Derek Bozy Ennis, who had first said that he had ducked the fight, which Ortiz strongly denied.
Everyone's been talking crazy, bro. Your dad is the first one that said that I was ducking. It's on video. It is on video that he said we ducked and we didn't get an offer.
It don't matter. The time is now. It's that time. Let's get this money and let's make this fight happen.
There will be fireworks at the possible fight, but there will also be a passing of the torch between the two guys. They are both unbeaten and want to become the faces of young American boxing. Boots then made a short, unhesitating prediction that he would bet on the head and win the case no matter what. He was risking not only his image but also his money on this belief.
No, you're not.
I guarantee you, and we can bet whatever. I guarantee you,
I don't want to take your money away, bro. I'm not
you ain't
betting.
gonna take nothing.
Nah.
You ain't gonna take nothing. I guarantee you, we can bet any amount of money. When we fight, I guarantee you, I'm going to.
There has been competition in the news and on the web for a long time. These two boxers have said that it's not just about belts and ranks, but also about pride, respect, and being able to show that you can be the best in one of the most competitive sports. Getting the facts straight about the state of the talks was important. Eddie Hearn stepped in to let everyone know that his camp had already moved on to the next step, which was doing. He said that Eric Gomez, the head of Golden Boy, had asked for a few days off until Vergil Ortiz Jr. finished his last fight, and that he would call a meeting then.
We've already signed the contract. You know, we had the contract ready after our meeting with Golden Boy. Boots has signed it. We've been waiting for them. And Eric Gomez, you know, to be fair to him, a couple of weeks ago called me, said, look, let us get our fight out the way, then we'll move to make it. Hopefully they're good for their word and we're ready. Like, Boots has already committed to the fight. We don't want anybody else. Ortiz is the guy we want.
Eddie Hearn talked more about his dream of the fight, both as a producer and as someone who could see how big of a deal the Ortiz versus Ennis match would be for American boxing. He praised both fighters' ability to draw crowds, saying that Boots in Philadelphia and Ortiz in Texas could easily fill an arena in their home cities. However, he said that the fight should happen in the biggest building possible.
Both guys can sell out their respective arenas for a fight like that. Boots would do 20,000 in Philly. Vergil would do a massive fight here. I think it's a Las Vegas fight. I really do. I think Vegas has been starved of those really big marquee fights. Canelo's been really the only one making big fights there. And, you know, I think it's time to bring a fight like that to Las Vegas. I think it's one of the best fights in American boxing. I think it's the best fight in American boxing. So for me, Vegas would be the right choice.
A tough guy named Ortiz with big hands had challenged Ennis before, after Ennis easily beat Stanionis in a fight that wasn't supposed to happen because of an illness. At the same time, Ennis, who was holding the IBF welterweight title, fought back by questioning Ortiz's steadiness and readiness to fight in the real elite. People became more interested in the fight because they kept going back and forth. Fans are now fighting about styles, resumes, and other intangibles on social media.
Is this the biggest fight in boxing now?
I think this is the best fight in boxing that's going to be made. You know, and like I said, I'm gonna come up on top regardless. I'm running through this division, and I'm gonna stamp my name.
After the fight between Vergil Ortiz Jr. and Jaron Ennis, Robert Garcia, a veteran boxing coach who has worked with some of the best champions, had his own pretty straightforward reaction. In his usual straightforward way, Garcia said that Boots looked a lot bigger than he actually was and almost heavier than one might have thought, but he wasn't sure if it was just the clothes.
I was seeing Boots and he looks heavy, he looks big, you know, he looks really big, but maybe the clothes, I don't know, but he does look big. But one thing that I noticed is he was just couldn't look at him in the eyes until he heard me say that. Then he started looking at Vergil in the eyes. But you know, he's a great fighter, man. We can't say he's nobody. You know, he's a great fighter, great former champion at welterweight. I think it just makes a badass fight.
Robert Garcia went into more detail about Ortiz's stance on the possible fight with Boots Ennis, which showed how flexible Vergil and his team were in terms of their strategy. Because Eddie Hearn was a producer, he knew that Hearn wanted the Ortiz vs. Ennis's fight because it would be good for business. But Garcia made it clear that Ortiz wasn't legally or practically required to fight Boots right away.
I know Eddie wants it next because obviously he's a promoter and he wants that big fight, and the zone also want it. But we have other options too. You know, it's not like we're forced to fight Boots. I would love it too. If it happens, it's gonna happen because it's a huge fight. But look, you know, Spence was also here, you know, so you never know, you know. There's Charlo was here and he started talking too. When we were walking into the arena, we were walking into the locker room and he was walking out. So do we need Boots to be next? No, but hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. Rick, Golden Boy, Eddie Hearn, hopefully they do their job to make it happen. But we got other options too, man. Shit, who knows? What if Crawford says, I want to fight Vergil?
There was more drama in the story after their last fight. The two young stars met in person while they were in town for a press event. Even though both people respect each other, there is no denying how intense it is. Later, though, Vergil Ortiz said that his ultimate goal had always been to fight Errol Spence Jr. It was a fight he had dreamed of for a long time and saw as the peak of his career goals. The way Ortiz did things was based on rivalry and respect, making it clear that he wanted to fight the best fighters available, not just to get attention or make things easier for himself.
It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm gonna be honest, it would be Spence because that's my dream fight. I've been calling it since
AT&T.
AT&T. There you go, at the Cowboy Stadium, and I just think that's my dream fight. And I don't care what anyone says about it. But anyone else, like I said, anyone can get it respectfully. I just want to fight the best. I'm just a competitive guy.
Many people who didn't believe in Ortiz before his most recent accomplishments now do. Erickson Lubin's knockout in the second round was a great reminder of how strong he is and how good he is at ending fights. Even though the fight was short, it was fierce because Ortiz beat Lubin by using strategy and accuracy. His win not only added to the things he had already done, but it also marked the beginning of a new part of his career. Showbiz, the grown-up, said that the fans and the media had made the Ortiz vs. Ennis fight seem more important than it really was. He said that the excitement had been high at first and that it had simply grown into a fight between two top welterweights. One thing he did notice was that the excitement seemed to die down a bit after Oscar de la Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions started making claims that slowed down the excitement. He said they made a big deal out of nothing. We were excited, but then you saw Golden Boy Oscar de la Hoya start to bring it down a notch. The adult then talked about a possible future fight between Vergil Ortiz Jr. and Errol Spence Jr., where Spence watched Ortiz's most recent fight, the high stakes in the division, and the excitement among fans and insiders. His words made it sound like an Ortiz vs. Spence fight might happen, and the excitement about it was just as high as the excitement about Ortiz vs. Boots Ennis.
We all know Errol Spence was there. He was there at the fight, and I told you guys last night during my live stream commentary that I heard it through the grapevine that Vergil Ortiz and Errol Spence were seriously discussing fighting each other next. What I know. You know what? I'm going to say some stuff I know, dog. I'm going to say some stuff I know. The idea of Errol versus Vergil Ortiz was a very real thing. And that's the black dude. You want to know why he's there? That was a very real thing. That's the black two sugars. I can't tell you where I got that from, though. And it all seems to me that Team Ortiz been trying to deflate this fight with Boots Ennis by coming in through the back door and saying the opposite. You heard Robert Garcia, Vergil Ortiz trainer, talking about how Boots Ennis wouldn't want Vergil next.
Showbiz, the adult, reacted to the need to focus and the immorality of the talks going on between Vergil Ortiz Jr. and Boots Ennis. He insisted that they should focus on making their fight and not on the trading chips they have at their disposal. Like Errol Spence Jr., he did say that Spence's return to the ring was good news for, though he made it clear that Ortiz's team didn't think Spence would be ready and focused enough to fight before even thinking about it.
I don't want y'all bull jobbing. I don't want y'all playing around. I don't want y'all using Errol to choose Spence's leverage. We want you guys focused on each other. And I'll tell you this, Errol Spence, him coming back, that is an amazing thing. We would love that. And Errol Spence being gone so long, Errol, you need a tune-up, brother. We can't have what's been going on, you saying no tune-ups or whatever, getting knocked all around the canvas, looking for your mouthpiece shit. We ain't got that kind of time. As you get that tune-up.
Boots was sure of himself like always. The sure of himself person said that Ortiz's strength would not bother him. In several appearances, Ennis said that he had fought punchers before and that his range, speed, and knowledge of the ring would help him beat Ortiz in the end. He didn't see his most recent win as a threat, but rather as a chance to score points with Ortiz. Someone named Sean Ziddle said that Jaron Ennis could be Vergil Ortiz Jr.'s next opponent. He said that it would be an exciting fight with a lot at stake. He said that the two warriors bring tough, offensive styles to the ring, which makes for the kind of intense fight that people want to see. Ziddle said that a fight between these two would be interesting because each boxer wants to land a knockout blow and set the pace.
Favorite Jaron Ennis, by the way. But the reason why I could see Ortiz beating him, Ortiz is an underrated, his speed is underrated, his overall package of skills is underrated. Because he fights 80-90% out of the time out of the high guard, you're going to think he's basic, and he's not really. And even if he is basic, he does everything so fundamentally sound. That's his big advantage over Ennis, is he's more fundamentally sound and he keeps everything tight and compact. And
Zittel also talked about Ortiz's huge win over Erickson Lubin and how Lubin was very confident going into the fight and wanted to do well, but it was quickly shown to be false, and Ortiz showed better timing, reflexes, and the ability to keep himself together when under pressure. Zittel praised Ortiz's mix of strength, technical skill, and boxing intelligence and called him a tough opponent.
Came into that ring very confident that tonight was his night. Third time was going to be the charm. And I saw from him in the first round say, uh-oh, I got a problem here. This man is harder to hit than I thought he'd be. Because Vergil, always fighting out of the high guard, makes people think he's straight up and down, no special effects, and he looks easier than he really is. And I saw that Lubin's diagnosed that this is a harder puzzle to solve than I originally thought. I knew he was going to be relentless. I knew he was going to be dangerous. I knew he was going to be strong. But what he was realizing was, oh, this is a puzzle.
The difference in style is the most interesting thing about this game. Ortiz can attack with pressure, mix hard hits, and punt, and he's not afraid to trade in the pocket. Ennis, on the other hand, needs flow, angles, and speed to live. He feels just as comfortable fighting as fighting in the southpaw position. Teofimo compared Vergil Ortiz Jr.'s recent fights to his own in terms of attitude and strategy. Ortiz didn't waste any time proving his worth in the super welterweight class. Teofimo said that some athletes might be kind, but Ortiz's first move was to show his strength and determination. He also said Ortiz's show was a message to other players in the division that he wasn't just passing through but was already a well-known star in the division. As Teofimo talked about the goals of both Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz Jr., he made it clear that neither was interested in a single fight, but in the legacy and supremacy. He said Ortiz had said in public that he wanted to win all the belts and be the best boxer in every division, which showed that his goals were bigger than just one fight.
He has a lot of competitors watching him as far as Vergil goes, and he came to show them that he's here to stay at the super welterweight division. I mean, he's doing it right now more than ever. I think he should have fought for a world title, but things already concluded on that, so he's aiming towards it. He's ranking up. He's getting all these now opportunities. Maybe we see him in Boots, or maybe they fight for world titles.
The fight between Ortiz and Ennis is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in the welterweight class lately. Tensions are rising and a deal is almost reached. Because both men have never lost, are hungry, and have explosive styles, fans are sitting back and expecting to see who will declare himself the real man of the division. When these two finally meet, it will not only be a fight, it will be a fight to the death to see who has more power, respect, and legacy. Who do you think will be the winner when the fight is over? When Ortiz puts pressure on Ennis, will he be able to hold out, or will Ortiz win? You won't want to miss a second of this. Click the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and become a member. Then we'll send you all the updates, reviews, and highlights that will lead up to this big movie.